Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of R3 with the gentleman to my right over in Florida, beautiful Florida, Mr. Rish.
Going on, and that's my buddy Roland. And what I'm guessing is either nice or misty Scotland.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. The sun is shining. So in this year, summer fell on a Wednesday. Today is spring. It's Tuesday, so tomorrow will be summer, I suppose. But anyways,
The new season for Finland.
it's always a good day for things like that, and I mean for catching it at the customs and sending it back to where it came from. Yeah. Um, yeah, but I think that was a good intro to what I said earlier on. You had something going on, and I said, "Oh well, I basically confirmed a couple of things that were going on in China and the world, and I now have confirmation that yeah, this is what's actually happening." And I thought it ties in
Share
really
with
well
the
what you said
group.
the other day. So yeah, no, we've been talking about how everybody or people in general have been too comfortable over the last 10, 20 years, not things not moving forward, and there is you called it the second American Civil War, yeah. And I think yeah, there is a certain stirring in society, and it's not only an American thing or a Western thing. Um, as of basically this morning, I got another clue what's going on, and we've been saying about the relocation of talking about the relocation of supply chains, but we have never really talked about well, what is the impact on that, except the economic downturn in China.
I
And
believe there'd be a lot of starvation once the tap
you are
import
too
the food
fast
and
with
the
that.
energy.
So I
Well,
spoke
what? How
with
do they support that population without being the
Mhm,
manufacturers of the world?
exactly. And one of the things that I always found strange is if you are well, let's just say you are an ordinary little Deng, yeah, or little you in China, in your village, there are no jobs. Yeah, there are some agricultural jobs still in China in the villages, but it's really nothing in
I
terms
thought
of
I thought there was
what?
only three jobs. I thought there was creating coastlines, party member, or generally pissing everyone else off.
Well, no, there's real jobs. There is real jobs in China. So, but I mean, we are taking the piss in many ways, but literally, the other side. Look, the other side in me. I wouldn't say humanitarian, but looking at what I confirmed over the last couple of days, it's a horrifying picture that starts to form. And let's go back to Deng and Yu, who sit in their little village. They have to go to the city, and if you move from one place to another in Florida or in the States, you just do that. Yeah, you
Yep.
tell the local admin, well, here I am. Yeah, to pay your taxes and stuff. Yeah, not even that. Yeah, it's possibly all
That
automated.
the only reason why they knew that I lived here for sure was I had my driver's license
Yeah.
address changed. But technically I didn't even have to do that because there's a grace period. So I in all these other states I lived in, I never, as far as they were concerned, I didn't exist.
Yeah.
So just speaking to your point, yeah, if I want to go somewhere, I just go there, and if
Yeah.
I have cash, especially if I have cash,
You are
this is
partly off the
America.
grid.
I go do whatever
Yeah.
the frick I want,
Oh,
man.
in Germany, it works. You go to the local municipality, the office, And that's, well, here I am. And they change the address on your ID card. Yeah. In Germany, we have ID cards and driver's license. In the States, you have driver's license
Well,
and
see,
maybe
like,
a passport.
so the Aboriginals in Australia, a bunch of my
Hmm.
Aussie friends, they say the Aboriginals have walkabout, where they'll get an idea and they'll just go walk and they'll go out into nature. America does that same thing
Yeah.
with cars. We will pack a van with some ramen noodles and a couple little bottles of Sterno to heat it up, and we will go hit the open road. That is our
Yeah.
walkabout is a
No,
drive
this
about.
is,
The American, let's see, a lot of cultures, it's a river. Like when people experience death or something like
yeah,
that, or just the culture, they flowed by rivers, and that's how we started. But now,
exactly.
I mean, the highway is America.
A highway yeah, exactly. Now, back to China. You can't do that. So basically, you
Well, you
have
can't
to
leave your house in some places, right?
um more about that in a moment. But let's just say these two people want to go to the cities where the job is. They can do that. They can rent a place for cash, but they don't have a registration there. So if anything happens, they need medical attention, need to do something. They don't have an identity there. Yeah. So there's F all they get in terms of medical or administrative support.
Do they
And
have a
there is,
national identification card, like a driver's
yeah,
license or a state
yep,
ID?
right.
That's not sufficient.
No, you are not allowed to live there. So the chairman tells you where you can live
Hey,
and where
this
not.
is keep
Yeah.
talking. This is a foreign
So there's
concept
another
to
thing.
North
There's
America.
another thing that happens, but it's not so wild anymore.
Wow.
If you don't have a mobile phone, you basically don't exist. Yeah. Your mobile phone, your phone number in China ties to everything: your social security, your health code that you need since COVID, your bank account, your national ID, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So
So
as
it's so your phone number is a GPS trackable
social
social
security number. Yeah.
security
Yeah.
number.
Totally. I think that describes it really good
Wow.
for
When
all
when
our American
America
viewers.
when America created the social security number, people literally thought it was the Antichrist. That you were being given the mark of the beast
Yeah.
with this card.
Yeah.
That's how like serious it was just to get the numbers started over. I
But
can't
yeah.
imagine. That's
No,
insane.
look, we are talking in China. We are talking about literally facial recognition and what they call social credit score. Yeah. So if you walk across the road when the traffic
Social.
light is red, minus balance to your social credit
Wait, so
score.
they're grading your civics?
Yeah. And if you have not a high enough social credit score, you can't buy train tickets. Yeah.
How
So
many points do crackheads lose?
I have no bloody idea, but I think I'm starting in the negative balance because I'm not Chinese anyway. So
How much do you
uh,
get for fentanyl?
it
Have you seen
depends.
the streets of all the major cities in California, all the blue
I
major
don't want
cities?
to.
There's
I
just
don't
people.
want to.
What do those people score in China?
So yeah. So back to China. We have a huge migrant labor force that has no or very little legal identity in the place where they work. Now, as you are saying, there are no foreign orders. Yeah, if your economy is geared to produce stuff for export, and there is no export, there is fewer and fewer jobs. And another thing people need to understand is that over Chinese New Year, everybody goes home to their families. Yet everybody goes back to the village, and then they come back. So, and when people came back this year around, they realized, well, there are no jobs. Yeah, there are companies that hire 4 or 5 people, and hundreds of people come to apply for that job. So the other downside is if you have literally an economy that is broken down into very simple stuff. Yeah, it doesn't take a bloody genius to stand at to go to that factory and manufacture stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they also calculate in their pricing with, well, out of 10 pieces of output, we have to throw away 3. Yeah, whatever the numbers are. But that is how you throw out cheap stuff in large volume.
Hmm.
So now there is no jobs. And I think I said it in one of the last episodes where I said, well, these people are now trying to be delivery drivers on their e-scooters, delivering food, yeah, fast food takeaway, and also this huge delivery network the Chinese internet commerce platforms set up are like Alibaba and what's the other name? Taobao, Jingdong, yeah. So really, they rival Amazon in their capacity to deliver stuff from A to B very fast. And
Amazon has deliveries every second. They
yeah,
they have new orders also every
yeah.
second.
Look, same thing.
You
I
gotta
would
have the
say,
orders.
I would
Amazon's
say
doing fine.
if you take the label of Amazon and put the Chinese label on, it's still the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I really I have to say that I didn't. In fact, actually, what I got really used to, and I only realized this a couple of years in, is I was actually upset when my stuff that I ordered in the afternoon wasn't with me the next day. Yeah, this is how fast this logistics is.
Right, but see, you're speaking to the point where the jobs aren't there. I
Yeah,
would say one of the first things when the disposable extra, especially with these other workers who are just providing, bare necessities, but for the people who are getting disposable income, one of the first things that would get cut out, I would think, would be like an Amazon or what you were saying,
exactly.
the Chinese. So I would
Anything
expect
that is
them
not
to get
food
in
for
trouble because
survival. Yeah.
that instant gratification need goes to food and power and toiletries before it goes to a new
Nope.
umbrella.
Nope.
It should.
Um, it should, but this is the thing.
I don't care if I'm
And
getting rained on if I'm hungry. Like,
yeah, no. That's the thing. The reason why people go back to their village, and look, it happened in human history so many times. So, for example, Germany during and after the war, or in any kind of crisis, people think they are safer in the countryside because large cities get attacked and destroyed. In large cities, it's difficult to have food. Yeah, in the countryside, you still grow your own food. However, in human history, and unfortunately, Germany has done this repeatedly. Not only after World War One and World War Two. We have done this a couple of times before that, and every single time the rural population starved to death. That's what happened. So now let's fast forward this scenario where all this migrant labor force is going back to their villages. So one of the things, this is one of the brainchilds of Xi Jinping. He wants the peasants back in the village. Yeah, for whatever the reason. I'm not even arguing logic
a
anymore.
peasant in the village and a woman in a kitchen.
That is, it is said,
Yes.
yeah. Well, there's something. Hold that thought with the woman in the kitchen. This is something. I have to prepare my narrative a little bit. But essentially, fast forward this scenario where a migrant labor force that has been living the Chinese dream, yeah, has worked their socks off, has ruined their health, goes back to the countryside and realizes, well, there is no food.
And they
Yeah,
go back leaving their best years in the cities and the plants.
exactly. You have a population that I don't think any amount of riling up nationalism and pointing at the Americans, because that is what's happening, yeah, is literally, and this thought of it's America and the CIA who are to blame for all our problems. There is no thought. There's no thought about other countries that are withdrawing investment and expertise from China, or simply not placing orders. Yeah, it's not that they do this for their very own reason. No, they have been told so by the Americans. And there is not even a glimmer of a thought that, well, maybe it has something to do with our behavior towards them. Yeah. Calling them foreigners all the time, blaming them for all our problems. Yeah.
Well, and
And
Japan's not gonna do anything. You've been calling them an American dog. Man, I've seen some recent videos. I knew those people still, all those years of conflict, I knew they didn't just let it go, but man,
yeah,
it is open in
well,
people.
there is after the opening of
But
China.
see, that's the thing. So only 20% of I recently watched something where only 20% of Japan's manufacturing is actually in Japan because they don't have the raw materials. They had everything else.
Yeah.
See how see how the Japanese expertise and the Chinese manufacturing would have been a perfect fit if they hadn't have
But
spent the last 3, 4, 5,000
I
years
can
killing
give
each
you a
other.
couple of examples how bad the
I mean, there
situation
was
has
a
become.
lot of murder. Okay.
Absolutely. But who was the first country? Well, who was the first country who invested in Vietnam when Vietnam opened?
Ooh.
Americans. Yeah, and Americans were very welcome. Yeah, because one of the things the Viet Cong said after winning the war is over. We have to rebuild our country, and then we need to go out into the world, making friends. This kind of thing has never happened in China. However, the first large investors after Taiwanese businesses were Japanese, and there is or was a huge shopping district even in one of the northeastern cities. Don't nail me on which one it was. Essentially, they invested a three-digit million sum in US dollars. And just before it opened, the chairman had this idea again, I hate Japanese people. And there was a huge demonstration like Japanese go home, murderers, and all the bullshit. Yeah. So the next day when
So
the
they
shopping
did.
center, yeah, they did. The next day when the
Oh, I
shopping
know the
center,
Japanese. I don't know this story, but I know enough Japanese people to know how that ended. They don't put up with
well,
that shit.
they don't
They
put
don't
up
put
with
up
that
with that.
shit.
No.
The next day when the shopping center was supposedly to be opened, well, part of the demonstrators were actually people that were employed there. Yeah, you see where this is going. None of these. There were no jobs, and the Japanese owners of that shopping district said, "We are shutting this down, and we are not. We are not opening this."
No, you can't make the Japanese swallow their pride for anything less
No,
than multiple nukes. Those are
that is
those
that.
people do not
Yeah,
take bullshit off of other people. And
but
that's
no,
I'm for that. Good for y'all, man.
this, no, this is. I'm totally with that. If
Yeah.
look, if you well, for me, it started like first of all, my ideas and my stuff are that what I did when I was working in China. Oh, that's rubbish. Yeah. Couple of weeks later, it was my Chinese boss's idea, and it was a brilliant idea. Then I stopped giving him ideas. Then I was a bad guy for not contributing. Yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
really at some point I'm like, you don't like me either way. So as long as I get paid, and as long as I say the level of pissed offness has not reached really the ceiling where I'm saying that this is not worth the money, and it reached it pretty quickly, I have to say. Anyways,
See, in America, that tenure comes with a big bottle of Xanax.
yeah. So
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
healthy.
so basically you will have a massively pissed off population in the countryside in China in not too far of distant future.
So what happens when they all die? I mean, is anything going to happen? I mean, is there going to be any retribution for the state? Basically failing these people
Oh,
to the grave
uh
because they're going to die, right? I mean, if the jobs don't pick back up, food's not extra food just because they come
the
home doesn't mean
question
there's going to
is,
be extra food.
how would
They were
you kickstart?
subsidizing their own family farms.
Look, how would you kickstart that Chinese economy? Yeah, you will have a gargantuan task because no one is buying from you, and the people that are buying from you, like the Russians or Iranians, they don't have the bloody money. So we are talking about the jobs that still exist in manufacturing instead of the figures we have been talking about. We are talking about $1, $2 an hour. And literally in the
What are you gonna
cities
do?
where damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
Yeah.
what do I think is going to happen next? I have to say when I spoke to people, is I saw not only desperation in their eyes, in their faces, in their whole appearance. I saw a lot of anger. They know perfectly well who fucked this up. Yeah,
That's not good for who
that
fucked it up.
it's well, they absolutely know who fucked it up and where that person is. Yeah,
Angry young men who don't have wives, who don't have families, are dangerous
yep.
in
I
large
mean,
numbers.
you mentioned not
Those are
quite.
revolutionaries.
Fun fact: the first line of the Chinese national anthem, "Arise, all those who refuse to be slave." It's now prohibited. You can't say it on Chinese social media.
You
Yeah,
can't say
I'm
the
not.
national anthem?
Yep, they censored their own bloody national anthem.
Dude, if I post the national anthem on my social media, half of the people will call me a patriot and the other half will call me a Nazi or I don't know, something
Well,
weird.
in China, you get a visit from the secret
But I
police.
mean, half of the people will be like, "Yeah, that's our national anthem." Like, I mean,
Yeah.
half's better than none.
Um, but speaking, you mentioned unmarried or yeah, I don't want to say a very unfavorable term, but men who have absolutely no outlook to ever have a wife or a relationship. I confirm. The following thing, what I'm saying, bear this in mind. Bear this in mind. I had access when I was in China to data that no foreigner would ever see. That 99.999% of Chinese never see.
Right?
And I literally saw an Excel sheet with name and ages and address of Chinese females between the ages of 15 and 44.
Child rearing.
Exactly. And I was told this is exactly what this is for. These are women who are
No, it's a
birth
list.
ready.
It's a blood to bone list.
Yep.
From blood to
And
bone. How long
I'm
can they
just
produce children?
I'm just looking at the implications of this. Number one, the government always knows where you are. Yeah, number one, which well, genuinely, what the heck? My life is so boring. No, no, the look, the MI6 agent that has to analyze me and my life should
No.
get a pay increase because it's so
Hey,
fucking boring.
think about it. They already did this. So you're in the UK. I'm
Yep.
sure you've seen the movie 28 Days Later,
Mm-hmm.
the zombie movie, right? The guy
Yeah.
gets out, all the people are gone. He meets a nice man with a young daughter. The army, they find the army, and the army's not really the army. They're what's left over of the army. And
Yep.
what was the commander promising his young soldiers? To
Yeah.
keep fighting, to not desert, to stay there under his command. He
Exactly.
said, I will get women here.
Yep. And really, this is oopsie.
We're
This is the kind of
surprisingly
thing.
easy to control.
Is I mean the mindset to develop this kind of thing is where I'm saying how detached from any morality do you have to be to participate in that, to
Well,
knowingly participate in this?
I would say the only, I mean, obviously you could be a sociopath, but the only way to do it, and it would, I couldn't do it, but for the people who do, the only way I see is in your head. That cannot be anything other than an Excel sheet with numbers on it and math. It has to be a
You
problem.
can do that,
It can't be a people. It has to be a math
but
problem. Because how do you wrap your head around what kind of
do you know the
murderous
Stanford
prick does it?
experiment?
No, I'm just saying. I can't wrap
No,
my
no,
head around it because I'm not
it is very
a
easy. And when people
evil
ask,
scientist. I don't know. It's messed. No, it's really
yeah,
screwed up though.
look, if you this is really just one step away from what really the Nazis did during the war.
Was
I mean, before the
Sweden
war as
like the
well.
last country to give up on eugenics, or was it Switzerland?
Don't ask me. But the thing is, uh, scientists ask the question: how do normal fathers, husbands, yeah, boys turn out to be such savages that they literally murder anything that has certain characteristics? Yeah, like Jews, Roma, Sinti, whatever.
Well,
And
you got
the
to
answer was very simple:
indoctrinate them really early and teach them that that's okay. It's
no,
acceptable.
no,
I don't know. I've never
no.
made a monster before.
Much simpler. When you look at the Stanford experiment, what happened is they took a group of people and a number of them told a number of them, well, you are inmates in a prison. And they told the others, well, you are the guards of this prison. They had to stop the experiment after a couple of days because it degenerated literally to scenes that we have seen in Abu Ghraib and worse.
The same thing happened with pure scientists in the southwestern desert of America with that biosphere experiment. And these are people all with doctoral degrees,
Yeah,
very smart
it
people,
doesn't matter.
and they
It doesn't
turned on
matter
each
how
other in a
smart you
matter
are.
of weeks.
It doesn't matter how smart you are.
No.
The thing is, if you give somebody, especially when they have an inferiority complex, and inferiority complexes have been breeded into society, not only Chinese Americans or something, we all we all compare ourselves to our neighbors, to our peers, and so on. Yeah, now you give someone who is losing out in life, you give them power for just one day. That person is going to relish in that power. That person is going to abuse that power.
Oh yeah.
And if you tell them, well, there is absolutely no consequences when you do things because you have the power, and we, the group, we back you up. Yeah. So this is how you can understand how people can turn into literal animals. And it comes to scenes where you have Excel sheets of people, yeah, where you evaluate people concerning how well they behave according to your own definition, yeah. But again, like I said, it was quite disturbing looking at these people and they telling me, well, yes, that is true. This is what's happening right now, yeah. And I look forward 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, and I say, this is this is a powder keg, yeah, where, yeah, the dynamite when it's already lit. This is what this is. And what I see, the social disruption is very similar across the world. People are angry for maybe they don't even know the reasons, yeah. But when you lock up people, that only amplifies. When you give people a dream, whether it's a Chinese dream or an American dream or whatever, yeah, when you say these are all the nice things you can have, and people keep running in that hamster wheel and don't get it, yeah, at some point people would
Oh.
say, well, it's enough, yeah. And yeah, people. I mean, we spoke about gun violence in the US. At some point people snap, yeah, and it doesn't have to end up like this.
Oh.
It can end up in much more ugly scenes. It can end up with a husband that's beating up his wife at home. Yeah, that's all things where I say society has not addressed a lot of problems, and shutting down debate, not talking about stuff that is going on and that are important to people like you, me,
Hey,
your neighbor. Yeah,
hey, we
that is
just
not
solved
good.
one.
Yeah,
We just solved one.
we solved one.
Florida. We just solved one.
Which one did we solve?
Well, you brought up guns, so just to update, since we have been highlighting some of the American gun stuff lately, Florida,
Yeah.
as of today, bill was signed into law by DeSantis, proud governor DeSantis. You no longer need a permit to conceal carry a firearm in the state of Florida as long as you are legally able to own a firearm not a felon, over the age of 21, because that's our handgun laws. You have to be over 21 for a handgun. But in the state of Florida, you no longer require a permit
Uh-huh.
to have a pistol in that waistband. Just be responsible. If you gotta go somewhere with your gun, you probably shouldn't go there anyway.
Well, I think that is a great
But Walmart
analogy.
just got a lot safer. Better watch out who's going for that last Tinker toy at the end of the year. Better get your ass on Amazon and buy it off the computer like real normal people. No one goes to Black Friday anymore.
Now, speaking of Amazon, I'm
It
waiting for
used
an
to
Amazon
get crazy.
delivery. It's
Me too.
crazy
Who's
everywhere.
not waiting on an Amazon delivery? I'm sure I
Yeah,
got at least
look,
6 over the
this is
next
another thing
month.
I said about convenience. Yeah, we are all guilty of that. We are all guilty of that. And all the stuff that I bought or wouldn't buy in the shop, I would say 80%, 90%, I buy my shit on Amazon, with the exception of food. With the exception of food. But hey, I'm starting to buy food on Amazon. Yeah.
I was gonna say in America, food delivery is a huge thing. You can literally, if you work remotely and you have a, because it is going to cost you more. Your cost of
Yep.
living in some aspects will be higher, but you'll save on
Yep.
entertainment. If you work from home and you make a decent living, you can literally never leave your house. You
Yep.
can have all your services provided. Maintaining your home, the outside cleanliness, the inside cleanliness, meal prep. You can have someone, a personal trainer, come over so you could still. And I'm not saying just being some weird recluse. You can have a personal trainer come over. If you got a pool, you can have water aerobic. America's made it where it's this wide, free, open place, but it's also this place where stuff happens,
But
and
the economy
some people
is
just
also
want to
at
be
that
left
level.
alone.
Yeah.
So
Look, I totally
you
get it.
have all the services, man. They will
You
bring
know,
you. There's a new one in America where you can literally get somebody to bring you gum and deodorant
okay.
from a gas station. There's a service. You go to a
Yeah.
gas station.
Look, surprisingly enough, I had the following conversation with my wife over the last 2 or 3 years very often. So I personally think I am not a people person. My thoughts. Yeah. And then I jokingly once said, well, it's not that I am not a people person. I am not a stupid people person. As in, I have no patience with stupid people. And stupid is a very flexible term here. So now, get this. Get this.
Sliding scale of
There is,
stupid.
yeah, what is stupid? And literally, how do I evaluate myself? How do other people evaluate me? Because everybody that recently well, I don't know if you agree with the following, but let me know. And
All right.
viewers, let me know in the comments below. No, what I'm saying is my wife now says, yeah, you have a lot more patience with stupid people now. And everybody that I deal with professionally or yeah, just personal friends and stuff, they see me as a people person. I don't know how. Yeah. But
Uh,
really,
I literally have the mirror image to that, to where I was always considered a people person and someone who brought the team together, and now short temper, don't suffer fools well. So I'm getting worse and you're getting better.
I wouldn't use these terms. I wouldn't use these terms. But uh,
Okay, so I am changing to where you started and you are heading to where I began.
um, let me give you another thing
Oh,
is at the high point of my antisocial behavior of me not being a people person, I literally at work I punched a hole into the drywall. That is how pissed off I was.
I
Yeah.
answered the door for Jehovah's Witnesses naked with an AK.
Which gun was
That's
more
not even
impressive?
true, but because I'm American, you fuckers think it's true.
I can
I bet you all of
look.
you.
This is a picture I can't unsee. This is a picture I can't unsee. Someone
But
passed
that's
me the
the thing.
mark.
When you're talking to people outside of America and you look like me and you say that with a straight face, people go, yeah, bro did
Yeah, I
that.
can see that.
Bro did that.
Well, as far as I know you, I wouldn't put it beyond you. Let's say this. But what I'm
So, I
saying
mean,
is,
I know someone who did. That's why I thought of it. It wasn't me, but
well,
I do know
which
the guy who
my
actually did
response,
that.
my response, which gun is more impressive?
I don't know. I didn't ask that part. I said what they do. He said they left. I said, what'd you say? He said, come on, let's talk about Jesus.
But no, speaking of that, look at it from this point of view. Maybe you are in a different stage of your life, and I literally I punched a hole into the wall, and if the people that pissed me off at that moment would have been there, I might be in jail right now. So literally, you can drive normal people, yeah, and I consider myself a halfway normal person. You can drive people so boilingly mad that they do things like that, that they snap. Yeah.
That they kill you.
Yes. It's, look, there's. Um, I know in the states there is murder several degrees. Yeah. First,
Yeah.
second, third degree, whatever.
Well,
Um,
murder's not created or ended equally.
yeah. In Germany, we have two different words for it. Yeah. Murder and manslaughter. So and
No, we have manslaughter
manslaughter,
too. We also have
manslaughter has
manslaughter.
several degrees as well.
So do we. But see,
Yeah,
here's the thing with ours. Like, there was this woman who her daughter was the worst things you can imagine and ended up dying. The woman, this is back in 84, walks into after the guy was sentenced, the guy who did it, they caught him. She goes into the court, she plugs him. None of the deputies, now this was, 40 plus years ago, none of the deputies even got up to stop her till she finished the magazine. Then they put her hand down. She got 3 years.
and that is, if you
But
ask me, three too many.
that is definitely premeditated murder to the legal degree. So murder and manslaughter in America is highly subjective. Like, you go shoot up a
The
school,
difference,
we are going to fucking kill you back. If you
the
shoot a
difference
rapist,
is how
well,
good your lawyer is. Yeah,
that and what you did. I mean, no one, somebody goes and shoots up a child molester, like, I, we don't
but
really
this is
care. Like, the
something
cops go
going
look
back
for me,
to
go look for.
the name what I said, Larry Lawton. He said, anyone a child molester or a pedophile, they don't leave the prison. Yeah, the inmates make sure.
Sometimes they don't make it to the court
Yep,
hearing. They don't
exactly.
they don't make it to their trial.
You see,
I'm all
yeah,
right with
we
that.
got a long way. Well, looking at how things are going, I would say it is most people would have no problem with that. Yeah, I think the justice system, or in general, going back to what we said, the proposal that society gave us, this is what you can be, this is what you can
The
have.
social contract.
Yeah, exactly.
It is the
Yeah,
deal. It's the deal
yeah,
between the citizenry and the government. It's the deal between people and their neighbors. It's the difference between church and state. It's the entire, whatever your ethnic group, whatever your community is, however large or
yeah.
small it is the agreement that it doesn't have to be written down, but everybody knows
Exactly,
what's right
exactly.
and wrong. You fucking do know. You do know, and if you did something right, you knew it was right, and if you did something wrong, don't. You knew. Everyone knows the
Yep.
social contract.
My wife researched this concept. It's called psychological contract, and to what ends people go if that contract is violated.
I'm
If they
pretty sure
think it
I'm
is
a
violated.
subscriber to that. I mean, it
Yeah.
does seem like the guy who
So
would be the picture of that.
and look, I see also my different behavior at work. So when I worked uh, in literally every single job except my current one, I was really ripping myself apart. And then things happened where I say, well, this is not right. Yeah. And I'm also, I'm a person that takes a lot of ownership in the stuff that's going around where I'm involved. And now I have literally the exact opposite. I was speaking, or I was talking to at our department night out. Yeah, our department went for a meal together. Um, I spoke to one of my colleagues, and she's American, and she said the good thing about our department is, as long as you don't fuck up, yeah, and even if you do fuck up, you are not having a talking to by the boss. The boss is very much hands off. You know your shit. Yeah. We are all adults. Yeah. And literally, when I look at the evaluations that we get externally as well as internally, it's always a little bit higher than the average. Yeah. So our department, our leadership must be doing something right. So it is literally I don't quote Steve Jobs. I don't like a lot of things about this man, but
It's
he
okay.
said,
He's very dead.
well, it doesn't matter. But he said a smart
He
thing.
can't
He
hurt
says,
you anymore.
well, you do know how easy it is to offend people. Yeah, sometimes when you say good morning, sometimes when you don't say good morning. Anyways, so I like this one quote. He says it makes absolutely no sense that you hire the smartest people in the world and then tell them what to do. No, no, you hire the smartest people so they tell you what to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I totally follow that. Yeah, I want to work with people that are better than me at something because then I can learn something. I don't want to work with people that are at the same level or at the level where I have to tell them how to do shit. Yeah,
Well, if you see, I always said, do you want to be the boss or do you want to be the star? Because if the boss is the star, there will never be a brighter one.
yeah,
There will never be any innovation past his own creation. If you get someone who wants to be the boss, who wants to hire stars, there's always going to be a revolving door of fresh ideas and talent, new blood when needed. But if the boss and the star are the same person, the company's ceiling is his ceiling
yeah.
specifically.
And this is literally the difference between my two department heads. The one I had in China, not the one before. Yeah, that was a hands-off manager for other reasons as well. But the manager I have now, yeah, my line manager, and he will stay my line manager, thank God. And my manager in China, yeah, it's literally like day and night, and I can see my input on both sides of the equation, and I can see the output of the department. I can see the turnover rate. Yeah. So it goes hand in hand with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to this to these developments and going back to what you said about the rifts in society. This is and this is me speaking for the future of the Western world. This is also the Western system, as much as it has its quirks and its deficits, it also has the ability to self correct. And we are in the root of self correction. So I read research when I was in China, I got research about. Yeah, about a lot of societal developments across the world. Got interested in that when I was teaching OB. And one of the things I read 2016, 2017, it was called State of the Union, but not the State of the Union speech
Right.
the administration is doing. And basically, what it said in both surveys that 66% and 75%, so the numbers were increasing, of Americans no longer feel represented by society. Or in other words, we have a shrinking minority of people telling the majority what to do, and the majority is not okay with it. Now we see the majority coming back and speaking up.
Yeah, but and we've already had this on an episode. I said in America, whenever it gets off, when it swings too far one way, it always
goes to the other.
overcorrects. So expect some highly conservative leaders coming through the pipework. Look through some religious background leaders, and also look for very nationalist leaders coming through the pipework in the American system.
Speaking of leadership, I think
No, it's going to, because it went all the way left. I'm telling you, that's what's coming next. There's going to be a new wave of them.
Oh, do you want to put this in another episode? But I think I have a couple of things to say about American leadership for the next projecting that in the future.
Yeah, that's its own topic.
Well, then how about we shut this for now, and we do that next.
Go home. We have to make more videos. Go home.
Well, in that case, as Rish is really motivated, we gonna cut this one here, and we are going to talk about American leadership and society and the world in general on the next one. I say, see you soon, Rish.
I say, see you, Roland.
And we will all see you on the next video.
Peace.